Welcome back to the Geek Central podcast. I am Jovi and I'm here with a new guest, Callum. We're going to talk about a few topics today, and we're sorry for the 2-week hiatus. I tried to come back last week, but I came down with not the virus, but another virus that called norovirus, which is the winter vomiting bug. So first, we're going to talk about the Xbox Series X and PS5 pre-orders. Personally, I'm going to go for the Xbox Series S, as I prefer the digital and it's a bit smaller, so it can fit on my desk. What are your opinions on this, Callum?
I mean, they're both decent consoles. It's really looking at the price range, what would be more affordable for people, because from what I've seen, the Xbox Series X is going to be quite pricey.
Yeah, $499. But if you imagine $499 for basically nearly a top tier PC, I think is pretty good.
I mean, I think going for the X is a good choice, but I think depending on if you've got a lot of hard disk games, the X is definitely a better choice. But if you're new in the community and you're mainly just digital, you should probably go with the S.
Yeah. What are your opinions on the PS5, or AKA as people calling it on every other social media, the Wi-Fi router?
With the Wi-Fi router, it's like, I've already got a Wi-Fi router, I don't really need another one, you get what I'm saying?
No. Yeah.
And
I think it actually pretty looks better than the Xboxes.
it has better style, but the PlayStation sort of model of how everything works on there, all their sort of, this and that, it just doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah.
As I think the Xbox system's just, ignoring power, they're just more appealing and easy to use, in my opinion.
And don't sound like a jet engine when you start up the internet browser. So personally, I don't think I'll be pre-ordering. I think I'll be just buying from the official website when they do eventually release. As I think the pre-orders are a bit too hectic right now by what I've saw on Twitter. By the way, go follow us on Twitter at Geek Central Podcast. I had a little look, and already people are, having problems with Argos and Amazon. And I think within 2 hours, even the Microsoft official website was sold out, and they had to redirect them to a third-party Microsoft developer.
I still think, despite the PlayStation and Xbox still coming out of new consoles, I still think the Nintendo Switch is a better console.
Yeah. It has a wide range of games, and there's exclusives, but you can get them on PC as well, and it's an all-round good console, especially like Smash Bros and Legend of Zelda.
Since the Nintendo Switch came out, I think although they're good, they've got power. All other consoles have just been trumped by the portability of the Switch.
Well, yeah, you can fit the Switch inside your backpack, while you can't with the Xbox or the new PS5, and you can take it to your friend's house and have play with Smash.
You can play Skyrim on what's basically an iPad.
Yes.
Which I think is just crazy.
Well, let's not forget that you used to be able to play Call of Duty Black Ops on Nintendo DS.
Especially with the introduction of the wider digital store on the new console of the Nintendo Switch, you can get equivalent, minus a few exclusives on the Switch portably.
Yeah. I think that's all that is there to talk about the Xbox Series X and PS5 pre-orders. Maybe next week or the week after. I'll be with Nye next week, and we'll hopefully there'll be a bit more news about the Xbox Series X and PS5. Well, we're going to move on to Nvidia's new announcement and release of the 380 series. starting at the hefty price of $1,499.
Yeah, it's pricey to be sure, but I think if we think about it in different perspective, this graphics card is going to be a very high quality,
Revolutionary.
the highest you can get.
Yeah.
It costs like
Um,
fucking shit.
yeah, you can get like a good PC for the price of the graphics card. But maybe I guess the price will go down.
There's a lot of like RAM, CPUs fluctuate in price.
Every now and again. So I don't know, it might just quickly just go down to one.
What is your opinion on the people who think 5G is bad, who think it causes issues? What do you think of those people?
Well, they're saying it's radioactive. It is, but it's alpha waves, and if anyone knows what alpha waves are, they can be stopped with a piece of paper and are not harmful at all. So by the time it reaches you, it will just be a speck, and is not as harmful as when you get an X-ray. As an X-ray is more harmful than 10 towers put together.
I just think it's ridiculous to watch these people.
Yeah. We're going to go on to a little game news, and now I don't know if you've heard of this game. It's a pretty small game called Among Us. Pretty small game, pretty indie game. Don't know if it will gain popularity, but the second one has been announced by Innersloth, the game developers, and I think they did this because of all the hype, and they just want to create a new one because they don't believe that that Among Us is not showing their full potential. So they announced the second one, and it's in development right now.
Among Us 2's been cancelled.
Really?
They've cancelled it to focus on the first game. Because
Right.
it would be quite exciting for the second game, but what they've said is due to the Among Us 1, sorry. It's quite old, you know. It's sorry, let me just check this. I believe it
2
came
years
out,
old.
Yeah, 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
They've said that they want to focus on improving Among Us 1
Right.
due to the hype.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite
Uh-huh.
exciting.
Yeah, as they could add new maps and stuff. As they used to have it on mobile, but now I've moved onto PC, and I think it's wildly better on PC, as you don't have the joystick in the way and stuff.
Definitely better on PC.
Yeah, and you get the seats for free, and there's not a lot of microtransactions. Only the pets you can buy.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on, as that's just a little one, and I got proven wrong by Callum here that they cancelled it. So if you might remember, our first ever episode, most of the episode was talking about the Batman and how we're excited about what villains we want to see. And that was with Nye. But it was put on hold. They were scheduled because of COVID to go back. They were going to self-isolate for 2 weeks, then go back to filming. But during the self-isolation, Robert Pattinson got COVID. He tested positive, so they had to delay it for another 2 weeks. Or until he got rid of all the symptoms and wasn't contagious anymore. But luckily, 2 weeks later, the Batman has resumed production, and they're saying it might not be October, and they might saying it might be November instead, because of that small delay. But it depends how much they film in the first month.
You know what I want to see?
What?
I want to see Danny DeVito playing the Penguin again.
Yeah, maybe he deserves a second chance.
As all films are automatically improved with Danny DeVito.
Look at Jumanji 2.
Jumanji 2.
It's a world class. Yeah, it's an instant classic.
I feel like 1 in 2 films have The Rock in them.
Oh yeah, he's the basic character, isn't he? He's like the Lego character you get on your first Lego set. He's that character. He could just he's a blank slate. He's a blank canvas.
If The Rock isn't in a movie, is it a real movie?
No, like when I watched The Skyscraper, I think that movie would have been
Even more worse.
if it didn't have The Rock in.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock's just... He's so iconic now.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't everyone just want to slap that bald head of his? We're going to move on. That's just a small piece. We're going to try to talk at length about this next one. Of course, Call of Duty Cold War was announced quite a while ago. I was taking part with the codes and the bunkers. I was trying to help out on like Noah J's stream, but of course he didn't listen to my messages. But I was there. I could see that I went to every bunker and stuff, and I tried to help out as much as I could. And of course, it got announced the trailer was released, and then an event happened in Warzone with a nuke going off, which signified the start of season 5, and we saw the proper trailer, the multiplayer reveal happening. I think just like 2 weeks ago, and the music choices in the trailer, as always, of Call of Duty were fantastic and portrayed the time that the game was set in. The pre-alpha dropped with the only multiplayer, and they wanted to keep story for the full release. I couldn't play pre-alpha, and Callum couldn't either, as it was a PS5. It was a PS4 exclusive, the pre-alpha. But hopefully, we'll get to play it when it comes out.
I mean, with the Rocket event, Cornell, Fortnite did it like a year ago, so
Yeah.
what can I say?
Is Activision stealing from Fortnite? Is that the real question?
Controversy.
I think we have. I think we got to cancel Activision. Let's just cancel them. Anyway, that's all we have to really talk about for this episode, unless Callum has anything he wants to talk about.
When will Activision release like a game which isn't COD? Like,
it's a good question, but they make loads of money with every COD because people keep buying it. So why should they make
it's
other
on
games?
par with FIFA at this point.
Well, this one has a little bit of difference. And the story's coming back, which is great, as Black Ops 4 did very well with no story. So of course, we have nothing else to talk about. We hope to come next week with a bit of a better episode and more talking points. But I was kind of thrown off with the 2-week hiatus we had, but we're going to be back with hoping for 1 episode per week. Maybe we'll have different people. Maybe we'll have Nye and Callum with us at one point, which will be for a great episode. So we hope you have a great day. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Do you want to say goodbye, Callum?
Sure. Goodbye.
Have a nice night or morning, wherever you are. Goodbye.